Get up off of there. All right. Okay, so we're putting this little presentation together to really kind of talk about what we have going on, the training opportunities, right? Well, it's really more than a training opportunity, right? Because man, what we talked about, I mean, it was more than just training. What else am I doing?
Study group.
Study group, right? So there's a group of us. There's a group of us that's coming together and we're studying, okay? You know, we're taking exams, we're trying to pass exams like the Security Plus exam, and other CEH, PCNSE. We're coming together in a group to study, right? What else? What else I said out here? Some other things I've been throwing around. This is why it's been so hard for me to actually put a name to this, what's happening, right?
Course.
Right. I said that there's a course, right? Mm-hmm. And this was mainly so that I can train other people. What I do, what I know as a security professional, right? I said, let me kind of, start here, take you up along a path so that I can get this information transferred into you. Now, why am I doing this? Because I said that, I want to help people get into career fields in cybersecurity, right? Because they're the most highest paying jobs that's out there right now. 0% unemployment rate, and I want to be your coach, kind of help you navigate this whole new territory, right? There's all these different jobs, titles you probably never even heard of before, right? Different skills that's required that you probably weren't taught before. So I want to help coach you down the path to getting into the security field. All right. Also comes along with that is mentoring. Okay? That's another thing. It's good when you have someone that actually worked in the field for a while, right? 15 plus years, and kind of know how to navigate that space, right? So you can get the best out of your career, earn the most that you can earn, right? Reach your highest potential. So it's kind of hard to put all this into one word, right? I know I threw around some other things too, not coming to me right now, but this is what we put together, right? So we wanted to kind of focus on the course part of things, right? The training, which is happening where online. Okay. There's open enrollment invitation going out for you to actually try this out, right? So you can you get a sample what it's like to come together with a bunch of geeks and learn about cybersecurity and become a security professional, right? What's on these exams right here? You can kind of get some resources if you check out some of the webinars, right? This online piece, this whole, training and course, it's kind of like a key critical part, right? I mean, it's just cool for us to come together, period. But if we have, something that we can work towards together, some goals, it makes it better, right? So let's talk about the course plan. So my lovely assistant over here is going to help me with the course plan, because we're basically looking at the course plan. Just start from the top. We're going to run down, right?
The name of the course.
Name of the course. Well, again, I'm not good with naming things, right? Because again, I didn't know how to bring all this in, with a little cybersecurity in here. I didn't know what to call it, right? So cyber something, right? What did I come up with?
Introduction to Cybersecurity Defense Course.
Okay, so Cybersecurity Defense Course. And, my logic there was like, look, there's a lot of people getting hacked. All right, we see it in the news. Some of us has been hacked before. We know someone that's been hacked. Let me train you up on the defense side, right? I can teach you what you need to know so that you can actually help defend people against these type of attacks. So yeah, this is the cybersecurity defense course. All right. So we've broken this down into different modules so that you can actually digest this information. And I'm gonna have you go through that, right? So what's the What's the very first module you starting out with?
Module 1, Introduction to Cybersecurity.
Okay. Introduction to cybersecurity. What in the heck is cybersecurity? Right? What's next?
Topic 1, Laws, Rules, and Regulations.
Okay, so when we talk about cybersecurity, we got to get into this legal stuff, right? So when it comes down to the laws, I got to make sure that I'm covered because the stuff that I'm going to be teaching you, you can go out and use that stuff for bad, and I'm not trying to hold myself liable for that, right? So I'm going to actually make sure you understand the laws and the regulations. So if you go out and do something, it's not on me. We're going to get that out the way first. What's next?
Topic 2, Cybersecurity Industry and Careers.
All right, so careers. That's a big deal right now because there's tens of thousands of positions going open every day. They can't find people to fill these positions. So my thing is like, if you want better quality of life, you want to earn more money, you might want to take a look into cybersecurity careers. Okay, what we got next?
Penetration Tester.
Okay, so penetration tester. What else? What are some other careers that's out there?
Security Architect.
Architect.
Network Security Engineer.
All right, security analysts, malware researchers, firewall engineers. There's plenty of careers that come up under the cybersecurity umbrella, right? What's the next topic that we have, though?
The outcomes.
Oh, the outcomes. Okay, so when you go through this module right here, what are the learning outcomes there?
Explain the challenges specialists face in the cybersecurity industry.
Okay, so you'll be very familiar with the challenges and what you need to do to actually meet those challenges. What's next?
Explain the phases of the attack lifecycle and identify tools used in different phases of a cyber attack.
Okay, cool. So not only will you be able to break down the different stages in the cyber attack, you'll also be familiar with some of the different tools that are used in the different stages within the cyber attack. And why this is important is because you're up against an adversary that's intelligent and smart. You got to be just as smart or even beyond that, right? So we're going to give you the information to break that down. What's next?
Module 2.
Module 2, all right. So now we got that, the laws, we got the career stuff out of the way. What do we jump into next?
Introduction to Network Security.
Network security. All right, cool. So now we get into networks, right? So, and not just, networks, but securing these networks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have to start somewhere. Got to break this stuff down to you. What the heck is a network? How does this stuff put together? What is involved in networks, right? So what do we talk about there?
Topic 1.
Okay.
Computer and Server Basics 101.
Okay, so basics of computer technology, right? We talk about networks, we're talking about a bunch of computers being connected together. Okay? So we gotta break that stuff down. What do we get next?
Architecture and components.
Okay, so when we talk about networks, we're really talking about computer networks, right? So when we talk about the computer, we have to really kind of be able to break it down and get into understanding the architecture of that computer. There's resources in here like CPUs, hard drives, the actual NIC or network interface card to actually connect out. We're going to have memory. These are all components that make up a computer system, right? And it's not much different when you think about servers, right? So you got servers out here, which are not much more than just beefed up computers, right? These are computers on steroids meant to serve up a lot of processing, right? And so here you will have the ability to actually virtualize computers and run them inside this physical server here. All right? That's when we get into virtualization, all right? What do we have next? What's the next topic?
Topic 2, Networking 101.
All right. So networking 101 really kind of brings us in the realm of, okay, it's no fun having one computer over here by itself and a server sitting over here. It's a lot more fun when we get to connect together, right? And that's what we get into. So what else we have there?
Computer networks.
Computer networks, right? The computer networks, we get into what?
The internet.
The internet, right? Because these guys, you know, it's all fun when we're chatting here, but we got friends out here as well, right? And then what do we get into there? We got protocols, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, many people just use this and take this for granted, but there's a lot of technology that's behind the scenes to make this work. There's different protocols that are used to make this actual communication work, like DNS, right? DNS, domain name servers. What else we got there?
TCP.
TCP.
UDP.
What else?
IP. HTTP.
Wait, stop there. HTTP. I'm sure everybody's seen that before, right? Colon. HTTP is the actual protocol.
Mm-hmm.
It'll behoove us to understand how that works because that could be exploited, right? And so we need to understand that stuff. HTTP. What else have we seen before? Have you seen HTTPS before? Right? That is the secure version of that. These are things that's getting taught in the course. What else we got?
SSL.
Okay, that's your HTTPS, right? SSL or TLS. What's the next topic?
Networking devices.
Networking devices, right. So if we're going to connect to the internet, or we're going to connect this computer to the server, there has to be some type of device that facilitates this, okay? I mean, you got to plug something into somewhere, and that device that we normally see in our homes, all right, connecting devices together is normally called a switch, okay? That switch connects devices together on a local area network, right? So you have a little local area network at your home. It's going to be a switch that actually connects those devices. What if you want to connect to the internet? The internet is not your home. This is the place where you need to leave your home and you need to be routed out to the internet. This device here is a router. What other devices we have out there that we talk about in the course?
Network security.
Devices.
Hardware.
Hardware, right. Other hardware.
Firewalls,
right. So you may have a router here, right? And this may route traffic in and out of your network, but you may want to control what goes out and what comes in. That's where your firewall comes into play. So we say we got a firewall. What's some of the other devices we talk about in the course?
Intrusion detection.
Right, intrusion detection. What else?
Prevention systems.
Intrusion prevention systems. And we talk about antivirus.
And anti-malware.
And anti-malware detection. All right. What's the next topic?
Encryption.
Encryption, right? So the best way to secure traffic in between, say, your home and out on the internet, the best way to do that is to encrypt the traffic. If you encrypt the traffic, nobody can read it. They can't decrypt it, and they don't have the key. That's safe. What do we get into next?
Outcomes.
Okay, so what's the learning outcomes of that module?
Describe the systems used to secure computer networks.
Okay, what else?
Describe the functionality of enterprise networking devices and basic network design.
Right. All right, so designing this, just like you saw me draw them, as you're watching me draw this out, we're designing this network right here, right? So it's good for you to understand the different components, the different devices, different technologies that come together, and that's how you're going to be able to secure a network. So what's the next module we get into?
Module 3, Introduction to Ethical Hacking.
Ethical hacking. Ethical. So ethical means we're doing this legally, all right? And we're doing it for a good purpose. What's the first topic we get into?
Introduction to the trade of hacking.
Right, so you got to know the terms, right? You got to know, what it means, black hat, white hat type hacking. You have to know the lingo, right? Talk the talk, walk the walk. What's next?
Well, you just said terms of the trade, so next is methodologies.
Methodologies, right? So there's certain processes that you follow, right? We talked about the cyber attack life cycle. I don't know if we got to that yet, but that's a process, right? Stages that things take place. What do we have next?
Tools of the hacking trade.
Tools of the hacking trade. So to be able to hack or to be able to stop hackers, you got to know the tools that they use. Metasploit is a tool that penetration testers use, but not only penetration testers, anybody can use that, right? What do we have next?
Outcomes.
Okay, so after we cover that material, what is the outcome?
Explain the phases of the attack lifecycle and identify tools used in different phases of a cyber attack.
Okay, so all that kind of comes together. Okay, now what do we? Is there? That was the only one there, right?
Yep.
So what's the next module we get into?
Module 4: Securing computer networks.
Okay, so we have a computer network right here, right? We want to secure this network. So what are we going to do? What topics are we going to get into?
Intrusion prevention.
Intrusion prevention. How do we prevent intrusions into our network? Right? That's very, very important. What do we get into next?
Application identification.
Application identification. We're going to have all this stuff that wants to come in, all this traffic that wants to come into our home network. This is into our home, right? We put locks on our door. We lock our windows. But are we doing that when it comes to our internet connection? Intrusion prevention is what is going to help us stop these from coming in. What else we had on there?
Content identification.
Content identification, application identification. Let's identify this traffic that's coming in, right? Maybe we don't want it in there, but you would not be able to make that decision if you didn't have the right solution. What's next?
And the last topic is securing the perimeter.
Securing the perimeter. A lot of this, as you can see, is happening where? On the edge, right? We have the internet here. Got the traffic coming out the network right here on the perimeter. So we discuss what we need to do to secure networks. Okay, we cover the basics. Take you from 0 to 100 real quick. Now, when it comes to securing the network and getting into the different devices, we focus on the next generation firewall, right? And that's on par with what the industry is asking for. So I think you get the point. There's more modules there, right? We're not going to go into all the modules, but if you decide that you think that this is something that you're interested in and a career path for you may not be set in stone right now, or you're looking for other options, you probably want to attend the webinars that we give, right? So in the webinar, we kind of go through the first phase of kind of let you know about the industry, let you know about the different careers that's out there, right? We don't get into all the technical stuff right away, but if you attend that webinar, you get an invite to actually attend the actual study group, right? The course, and be a part of the group. And this could be something that, again, may lead to a different career path for you. And if so, again, I want to be there to kind of mentor, coach you along the way, and provide you the training that you need. And that's what we're doing. So put this video together to kind of communicate that and transfer that over to you guys who, hey, if you think you like what you just saw, then definitely get in touch with us. There'll be information in the description of the video, and we look forward to hearing from you. Take care.